Hello everyone, this is Yogesh and welcome back to the channel. So welcome back and I hope everyone is good. So today we'll be discussing about new episode and that is break and continue statement. So I hope you are enjoying this Java series, and after this topic, that is from after today's topic, we are going to see some more new topics in some next videos. So be with us till the end, till this last series, right? So if you're new to the channel, so please subscribe and press the bell icon so that you will be notified first when you upload our new videos, right? So let's start the video. So basically today's topic is break and continue statement. So let's see what are these things. So like I have little bit told you about break statement, right, when I was explaining you switch case, right? So today we will see how break works for the for loop and like in the loops concept, right? Because maximum time breaks are used in the loops concept. So let's see that, right? So for example, you're running any loop. So for example, I'm running any for loop. Okay, so for int I is equals to 1, I less than equals to 10, I plus plus. If you're writing like this, right, so you are going to do lots of operations, right? So you are printing something, you are checking some conditions, anything you are doing, right? So at some particular line, right, you want to come out of this loop, is this for loop. So this is a for loop, right? So at this line, like there are some iteration below also, right? Some iterations, some operations we are doing above, some operation we are doing below, but at this line you want to come out of this for loop, right? So for that reason we use a break statement, right? So basically we can say that break is used to come out of the loop. That is, we are not going to do any more iteration. What is iteration? For example, in this case we are running 10 loops, right? So that is equivalent to 10 iterations. Okay, that is equivalent to 10 iterations. So break simple funda is that when you want to come out of the loop without doing anything after that, simply use a break statement. And what is continue statement? So for example, in this case only we'll be explaining that part as well for the continue statement. So for example, you have written something, some code, you have written a line of code. Now at this point of time you want to do something, and after this also you have written some lines of code, right? But what do you want? At this line you don't want to execute this part, and you want, again you will go back to the next iteration. That is, for I is equals to 1, you are going to execute only this part. Okay, this part, the below part, will not be executed. You will go above again for I is equals to 2, you will execute this part, you will not execute this part. Again you will go up for I is equals to 3, you will again execute this part, you will not execute this part. So if you want this kind of behavior, that is, if you want only first part, like first half to be executed, and you don't want the second half to be executed, right? So for that we use continue statement. That is how it is different from break. So in break, what we were doing, whenever we are using a break statement, at this point of time, so we are not going back to the next iteration, but we are coming out of the for loops or any loop, while loop, dual, any loops, but we are coming out of the loop. So if I write a basic difference between break and continue, so it will, what break will do, it will come out of the loop, right? And what continue will do, it will not iterate, it will not execute the remaining part, it will go back for the next iteration. So it will go back for next iteration. So we'll be explaining you with the help of an example, and you will easily able to understand how these two things are working. So let me give you an example. So you want to print 1 to, so you're running a for loop. For example, you're running a for loop for 1 to 10. You're running a for loop for 1 to 10, but you want to print only numbers from 1 to 5. You don't want to print numbers from 6 to 10. Like you want to print only 1 to 5 and you don't want to print 6 to 10, right? But you have to run a for loop for 1 to 10. That is the simple condition which we write in for loop, that we have to run for 1 to 10, but I want to print the data for 1 to 5 only, not from 6 to 10. So how we will do? So what I will do in this case is that I will write a break statement here. Why? Because after 5 I don't want anything to be printed in my output, right? So simply after 5, if I write a break statement, That means I'm coming out of the loop. So let me explain you through an example only. So let's run a loop for int I is equals to 1, I is equals to 10, I plus plus. I'm just checking, I'm running a if condition. If this I is greater than 5, then simply I have to do a break. Otherwise, I have to print I. So what I am doing here, let's see. So what I'm doing here is that I'm running a loop from 1 to 10, right? Whenever I was 1, so this is a false, right? 1 is not greater than 5, so 1 will be printed. Again, I become 2, 2 is not greater than 5, 2 will be printed, then 3 will be printed, 4 will be printed, 5 will be printed, right? When I became 6, so 6 is greater than 5, yeah, it's true. So we came to this break statement. So what does this mean? This remaining part, that is this print statement, will not be executed, and we are going to come out of this for loop, right? That is when we seen this break, we are going to come out of this for loop. Let's run this code and let's see what are the things are going to printed in the output console. So you can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this 5 data are going to be printed, right? So I think you've understood the concept of break. So let's see the continue. Now I want to do the reverse part. That is, I want to print 6 to 10. I don't want to print 1 to 5. I don't want to print 1 to 5, and I want to print 6 to 10. So what I told for continue statement, this part will be executed, and I don't want this to be executed, right? We will go back for the next iteration. So let's see. So what does it mean? For first 5 data, that is 1 to 5, I will not print, but from 6 to 10 I will print. So let's see how we are going to use continue statement. So in this case, simply what I will do is that I will write I less than equals to and continue. So what I've written, let's understand. So I'm checking if I is less than equals to 5. So when I was 1, so 1 is less than equals to 5, yeah, it's true. We are going inside if condition and we're saying it's written continue. It means we are going back to the next iteration. That is, we are not going to print this line. Basically, we are not going to execute this line, right? Because when we encountered a continue, we are going back to the next iteration. We will not proceed further to this line. That is, this line is not going to be executed. So what does it mean? I, that is 1, is not going to print it. Simply for I equals to 2, this condition is true. We came to continue. Again 2 is not printed. Similar for 3, 4 and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will not be printed because this if condition is true. We will go inside this if. We can see continue. So we are going back to the next iteration. That is for the next loop running, right? So we are not going to print. Again, when I became 6, so 6 is less than equals to 5. So this is false. So for that, we are not going inside this if condition, and the remaining part will be executed as it was executing normally. So this I will be this line will be executed. I will be printed. I was 6, 6 got printed. Similarly, 7, 8, 9 and 10, everything will be printed. So let's run this code and let's see the output console, that what are the things are going to be printed. So in the output you can see that 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is printed, and when I wrote the break wala part, so at that time 1 to 5 was printed because we didn't want more data to be printed after 5. That's why we used a break statement, right? So it means we are coming out of the for loop, right? So it means coming out of the for loop. But in case of a continue statement, we are going back to the next iteration. That is, the remaining part is not going to execute it. So I hope these 2 examples are clear with you all. That is what is break and what is continue. This difference is also clear with you all. So yeah, that's it for the today's video. I think you've understood in a very better way this 2 concept, right? So yeah, let's wait for some new videos in which we are going to discuss some new topics. So that's it. Let's meet in another video. But before that, if you like this video, then do like this video, right? Please press that like button and also subscribe this channel if you're new to this channel. Okay, so let's meet in some another video. Tab tak ke liye, bye bye.